Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Lee's video blog. And if you notice, my hand has band, which I was going to pull off after I talked to you and pull this off. So I basically finished my YouTube video after arguing with the police and everything else. And instead, emergency room. So Chloe turns around and worried about me after throwing up like 20 times, she said, in the damn bathroom. She could have left me sleep for about 6 hours. Instead, I ended up going to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room by ambulance because Chloe's worried about me. Yeah. So what happens? All I know is I wake up with a pillow over my head, on my head, I should say, not, or under my head. And the EMS is asking what's going on. I said, I don't know, I'm just sleeping. Leave me sleep. Well, she puts me in this little chair and takes me upstairs with 3 others. And they're like, a different EMS team. They're like, oh, she's polite, And I'm like, dude, you just let me sleep, I'd be fine. Oh, well, we can't do that. You drank too much. Then, on top of all the problems they did, they confiscated the booze, the grog. So, anyways, so I get done. I mind my own business. And, anyways, they come in, they toss my place. That's when my batteries are. And then they yell and scream about this. Scanner's Chloe. And they're yelling and screaming, apparently. Chloe briefed me. And they put me in the ambulance and they decided to poke my finger like 20 times. Trying to get a test for something. Then when they poke it, I, of course, don't feel any of it. I'm out completely cold. I wake up and they're unloading me and saying, oh, you'll be fine. You shouldn't have, your dog shouldn't have came. They were all complaining about the dog. And then all of a sudden, minding my own business, I'm half out of it. I'm half out of it going, what's going on? No, I don't need the express to the hospital. I don't need the express. So then all of a sudden, I get in there, the doctor comes in, he's talking about how he was a corpsman in the Navy. And then he goes on about being a corpsman in the Navy. And then he turns around and says, you shouldn't have drank too much. And I tell the doctor, whatever, dude. Just release me. He said, I can't do that. You drank too much, and under the state laws, we can hold you. I said, fine. Then I'm allowed to talk to someone who's there to tell me I'm detained. So then the sheriff comes in. By this point, of course, the sheriff, right? Ask Chloe about my YouTube channel. What's my YouTube channel name? I'm out of it. I'm literally under the table. That's what they call it. Sleeping in a bed. I get up. I say, hey, I got to take a piss. Nurse takes me there. Says I'm wobbly. So I go there with my cane. Use the toilet. They're all petting and happy moppy. And all of a sudden, I get back into bed. And they got this thin ass blanket. And then I'm like, again, out of it. And I say, how long until I can sleep? Well, he's like, oh, you can sleep all you want. The problem is that we have to do tests on you. So they run an EKG, checking on my heart, thinking there's nothing wrong. And they're like, oh, maybe you need to slow down your tobacco use. Your heart's pretty weak. Then the doctor comes in and does a test for my stomach again and says, "Oh, your stomach is weak." Then leaves me alone for like 4 hours. Then he asked me if I ate anything today. I said, "No, not really. Boy, it's dinner, but I was on YouTube for so damn long, I don't remember." Right? So then the doctor leaves, right? So then all of a sudden I wake up, right? Nurse is poking and prodding me. Chloe, of course, is sitting there in the chair. Chloe says, "Man, that's the longest 4 hours I've been waiting." I looked at her and I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You had an IV drip, you had all this." Hold on a sec. Let's get that paper from Chloe real quick. I want to see what they say. Chloe, can I have that paper, please? I mean, with Ben. So Chloe says, "Oh, it's by your computer." Okay, here it is. I think this is it. Right? She rolled it up. Okay. Doctor says, emergency medications. Blood pressure is pretty damn high. Temperature is normal. They did a automated differentials. Doctor complained about me being, your medication list. Yeah. And then says me this list, right? Care for me at home. What was it wrong, huh? This was alcohol intoxication. So go home, rest, blah, 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 right? Alcohol intoxication. Chloe called because I passed out on the bathroom floor, saying I'm worried, and then Chloe argued apparently with them about the grog. She didn't tell me they took the grog away. So, half a bottle of Remy's is in the possession of the police. Me, of course, I enjoyed myself, but then the doctor's like, "Well, your husband ain't coming back, blah, blah, blah." To me, this paperwork is useless. So I told Chloe, $10,000 down the toilet, right? 10,000 at least when they bill, right? For what? Blood work? A piss test? I mean, literally, if I'm passed out on the bathroom floor, you basically leave me passed on the bathroom floor. That's why I told Chloe on the way home. I had to get home as fast as I could, but I'm sleeping, right? I'm sitting there and I'm like this. Next you know, I wake up and this nurse is poking and prodding me. And she says, "Time to go." And I go where? She says, "Oh, home." And first thing out of my mouth is, "Damn, I gotta piss." She says, "Okay." So I was taking me to the toilet and I empty myself. Then they go and within like 30 minutes runs the piss test, see if I'm still drunk. Ask me for a breathalyzer. And I'm like, "Dude, you didn't ask me for a breathalyzer when I was here." She said, "Do you even know what we did?" I said, "No. We gave you hydration. We gave you medicine so you don't drink the rest of the night, blah, blah, blah." So, on the way home, the EMS stops me and says, "Thanks to us, we had to do a 4-hour deep clean of the ambulance because there was a dog in the ambulance." A dog, not a moppy, just a dog. I was like, "Well, at least I got that." Chloe turned around when she was up there. She says, on the way home, she said, "You know what I did?" So I said to Chloe, "What?" She says, "I argued with EMS, telling them that they're going to be sued if they didn't take Moppy with. They thought he was just a mangy mutt, right?" So we get done. And then on the way home, they just said, "Oh, everything looks good. How was your 4-hour nap?" I was like, 4-hour nap? And then, because when I remember getting in the ambulance barely, and then passing out, and then when I woke up, they were escorting me into a bed. And then they put me in a psych ward thinking they were going to hold me. Then they told me I'm going to be detained for 3 days. And then all of a sudden I'm laying in bed, and sheriff shows up twice, once at the hospital. Apparently, Chloe was talking for hours upon hours, trying to explain what happened with the whole booze situation. And then when I woke up, I was like, I gotta pee. Then I asked the lady what's going on. She said, "Oh, we poked you, took blood from you, took more blood from you, rehydrated you, gave you IVs, made a trip." She said, "You're the best patient we had all month and all week." And the doctor comes and says, "You're free to go." And I'm like, "Who are you doing?" He says, "You don't know?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "I'm your doctor." I said, "No, my doctor is in Moses." Like, he said, "I saw that in the file." I said, "Look, why am I here?" He said, "You drank too much. And your roommate was worried because he passed out on the bathroom floor." Well, leave me pass on the bathroom floor. Prop my head up, give me a pillow. I was sleeping soundly until I woke up by EMS. The lady then was rude. I'll tell you this part about the rudeness. Was like, "Oh," and there's like 20 guys around me, right? I was like, "Dude." And I said, "Close the fucking bathroom door." That's what I said. I said, "Close the phone." The lady closed it and said, "What do you need?" I'm sitting on the pisser pissing, and I'm like, "I'm not going to let anyone see my cooter." And they're like, "Oh, well, it's not like we've seen anything before, man-made or not." Literally. So I finally go up there. I pass out. They poked and prodded me and poked and prodded me and poked the bear, but the bear was so out of it, the bear just went to sleep. So when I got done, they're like, "I'd recommend Chloe make a sandwich for Rita and let Rita sleep." I made the ramen because I told Chloe I wanted a bowl of ramen. Ramen goes bye bye, I buy more. Ramen goes bye bye, I buy more. Right. Anyway, so there it is. So I woke up, they were telling me to leave, and I'm like, "Leave for what?" Because at the time I was like so out of it. I was like, I put my eye, I closed my eyes, and Chloe's going on and on and on, like, and then I went to sleep, and then the sheriff apparently Chloe said was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Dog sitting on my lap, sleeping on my chest. I'm sleeping soundly." I wake up and the nurse is like, "Oh, you gotta go." Yep, that was it. And then on my way home, Chloe says, "Oh, here's your tobacco." And then the sheriff and the EMS and the doctors and nurses couldn't believe I had a pinch in my mouth and I was sleeping with a pinch in my mouth. That's how tired I was. I didn't swallow it. I was like, so when I wake up, I'm like, then I tossed it outside in their bush. And then I said, "Give me a fresh pinch." Well, give me a fresh pinch. And that was it. And so that's all she wrote. So, anyways, I can tell you, EMS, fire, police, whatever. Oh, and then the police and EMS had to tell me that they were trying to get the county digital because they don't like people like me listening in on their frequency. And then I said, "Really? At this time of night? You gotta be kidding me." "Oh, well, it's like, dude, I keep it up because the neighbors complain about, oh, did you hear about the neighbor, blah, blah, blah?" No. And then Chloe, of course, is like, "Oh, did you hear about such and such?" No. So, this is why on the listening and prepping is, here's a tip. You drink too much, which God forbid you do. Then they told me that I don't know anything about prepping. Yeah. And people need to listen to other preppers over me. Apparently, Chloe was telling me that they were watching my prepping video where I was getting drunk tonight for like almost the entire time. They had nothing better to do. And of course, I was sleeping. So I was like, whatever. Then when I woke up, Then we walked outside. Chloe says, I'm sorry. I said, for what? She says, for you. I said, what do you mean? She says, you have to walk all the way home, 3.2 miles home, while holding your bladder in. So we took turns. But Moppy was not going to leave me at all. And then, as I left and walked past the EMS station, they were complaining about their dogs, how they had to deep clean the ambulance because the dog was riding it. Not my problem, dude. I mean, and then one doctor said, you haven't been here in 3 years. That's because you're, 3 years. I was like, no, I was here recently. Oh, well. Then, he went back, looked it up, but Chloe's like, Chloe's arguing with him. Me, of course, I was just sleeping. I was like, you know what? The hell with it. So, there you have it. So, ramen, game time, and then nap until therapist appointment. So, that's it, everyone. Peace be with you all. Story is, don't get too drunk because I don't remember. Chloe said to me, oh, you better get a shower in the morning. Make sure you're clean for your appointment. You don't smell like vomit. But apparently my hair was held back, Chloe said, when I was throwing up 20 times because I don't remember. All I remember is waking up and the nurse is telling me, it's time to go. Where? Home. Give me a cab then. Oh, we don't do this. And I'm sitting here with a band on my thing. And I'm like, what the hell did you do to me? She said, oh, it's not what we did. It's what you did to yourself. Lady was nice. She had nothing but praise. The other nurses had praise. One lady came in, did the heart test, and said, oh, your heart's weak. Slow down on tobacco. Really? Okay. So, ramen time, and then game time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please add subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Like, subscribe button. So it's fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, service dogs, your service bunnies, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe if you like. Thank you. Leave comments nice is all we ask, and God bless you in everything you do.